One of the most striking impacts on our economy over the last little while has been the plummeting Canadian dollar. And David, it's fallen at one of the fastest, if not the fastest rates ever. What's causing this? Obviously, a collapse in commodity prices is the big factor, and notably oil.
Yeah, you know, and just before I kind of go into explaining that part of it, it's gone from probably in the 90-cent range a year ago down to 70 cents, and it kind of bounced off a floor just recently at 70 cents. And I wouldn't call that in avalanche terms, you know, dangerous, but I think it was a moderate level risk in terms of, you know, the slope of it. In terms of, you know, as far as, you know, what's caused it, oil definitely is positively correlated to it, so that's a big part of it. But in addition to that, it's other resource products, slowing growth in other areas of the world, like China, who demands resources copper and that sort of thing. But specifically to oil, if we step back to that, you know, there's a glut of oil out there in the market, and that's really why oil prices have dropped, and therefore Canadian dollars dropped. I was looking at the Economist's Big Mac Index, and it's really the Canadian dollars dropped to 15% below what the purchasing power parity is of the US dollar. So it's actually maybe could be argued it's undervalued relative to where it should be.
So Jeff, let's talk about how this impacts retirees, and I guess everybody for the most part, but specifically retirees. Well, obviously food's going to cost more, travel to the US is going to go up, and the portfolio, your investment portfolio, has shrunk in value.
Exactly. It's, you know, it requires people thinking about different choices now. You know, when you look at the cost of food, cauliflower, avocados, tomatoes, things like that, depending on where it comes from, it's more expensive. Certain goods from the United States, traveling down there is you really have to think long and hard at a 30% discount, 35% discount to go down there.
Yeah, actually, you know, we were looking at a report that was issued by Globe and Mail, and they compared food costs from 2011 to,
I saw that.
You know, 2015, right? And
pretty significant.
Yeah.
How do you stretch your dollar then as a retiree?
Spend strategically.
Okay. don't go to the U.S.
No, I wouldn't say that. Maybe you bought a place down in the U.S.
Maybe you did.
Yeah, and
for those lucky enough to buy just after 2008, right? And the dollar was a par, and the prices down there were crashed.
That's right. Yeah.
Sure.
So that was good.
But if you didn't.
Yeah, so
maybe go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or rent
Mexico,
as opposed to buying at this particular time.
Depending if you can find, for example, if you can find Canadian owners who are willing to take Canadian dollars to rent down there, it's a little less expensive than paying a U.S. owner. Yeah. But you can look at places like Australia and Mexico, New Zealand as alternatives. The weather's good. The dollar's closer to ours.
They all sound nice.
Yeah, and then also, you know, another thing is invest wisely. So you know, maybe this could be as we talked, potentially a floor with the Canadian dollar. I'm not a currency expert, so you know, if it has reversed direction, it may not be the time to do it. But if you did catch it at the right time, it might have been a good idea to invest if you are investing in U.S. securities in U.S. dollars, right? And so, if we're at a state where the Canadian dollar is actually starting to increase relative to the U.S., you want to hedge that.